Good morning, my love. I hope that this finds you well. I hope that you are rested and excited for your day. I hope that you have something to look forward to. I hope that you see the beauty in yourself today, that you are aware of how beautiful you are. I'm thinking about you as always, and I was thinking about being aware of your own narrative. And by this I mean having a consciousness of the story you tell yourself about yourself, and perhaps more importantly, or also as importantly, the story you tell yourself about others. I remember in my life that there were times when people around me would construct a narrative that wasn't the narrative that I saw. And it made me aware to question my narrative, to be careful about just assuming things. There's, a perfect example is when we would leave for out of town, and your mother had a narrative that the cats knew we were leaving out of town and were anxious about it. And that was not the narrative that I had about the cats in our leaving town. It's important to be aware, as mundane or perhaps silly that may seem about the cats, them being cats, it's important to be aware that you may not be correct, that the narrative that I had may have been inaccurate, or the narrative that your mother had. The point is to just be aware of it, to then open your mind to the possibility of other narratives. And while I use the cats as an example, we could very often form narratives about people in our lives, that they are someone who always plays the victim or the hero, or we could form these narratives about ourselves and allow them to lock our thinking into a certain pattern and looking for certain expectations. And when your mind gets to that point where you are looking for things, there is a very good chance you will see them, even if they are not there, or that you will exemplify, that you will amplify them, even though they may be minor, because it will fit your narrative, which may not be the reality. And so I caution you to simply be aware of the narratives that you construct, whether they are about yourself or whether they are about others. I think Michael Lewis had an excellent quote or piece on this. Alas, I cannot remember it. Shoot. You will have to find it on your own, should you so desire. But the point is, be aware of your narrative. Question your narrative. Control your narrative. And be open to new narratives of yourself and others. And with that, I will bid you adieu. I will recommend, with no hesitation for myself, but perhaps some for you because I know that you are not a fan of rap music, but Lekali 47 is an artist that you should definitely take a listen to. Her music is thoroughly enjoyable. Just give it a listen and see what you think. Even though it is rap, which you and I both know is not your bailiwick. And I will also recommend, if you are in the mood for stories, a book by Diane Cook called Man versus Nature, or Man vs. Nature. I never know how one pronounces the V in such things, but Man vs. Nature, we'll go with that, is an excellent collection of short stories that I highly recommend you read. And with that, I will bid you adieu. I love you, and I'm thinking of you as always.